Hey guys, what's up? It's the Tominator, and today we're going to talk about the thumbless grip, aka the false grip, aka the suicide grip, and why so many bodybuilders seem to prefer it. So the thumbless grip is basically just a different way of gripping the bar where instead of hooking your thumbs around as you normally would, you bring the thumb underneath so it's on the same side as the rest of the fingers. Now, if you watch the pros working out, you'll notice that the majority of them tend to use it. At a guess, I'd say it's probably between like 2/3 and 3/4 of the IFBB ranks. Now, there's definitely a handful that don't, including some legends like Kevin Levrone, Flex Wheeler, Lee Priest, and Jay Cutler, just to name a few. But as you'll see from this footage, many of the biggest names do use it, including several former Mr. Olympias. And this always used to baffle me because it seems like such a stupidly pointless risk. We've all seen those cringy gym fail videos where some guy slips up and dumps like 300 or 400 pounds straight onto his chest, hence the nickname suicide grip. So I scoured the internet searching for explanations, and while it did turn up some relevant results, unfortunately none of them were from an actual pro. I do have a vague recollection of some bodybuilder mentioning how this grip allowed him to feel it more in the chest when they were benching, but I was immediately skeptical of that claim. How could something as subtle and seemingly insignificant as thumb placement allow you to better target the chest? It just didn't make sense to me, and I don't remember what video it was. This was years ago, guys, but the individual in question did not provide any justification whatsoever anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Alas, even the almighty Swoley Bible failed to provide the enlightenment I sought. You would think that the bro-fessor of all people would encourage the suicide grip for style points alone, because you gotta admit, it does look pretty badass. But he never even so much as mentions it, so I'm gonna have to take off a star for that. But anyway, if you happen to know a video clip where any of these Olympia caliber bodybuilders break it down or provide their reasons for why they prefer the false grip, please link it for us in the comments, because it'd be great to hear it straight from the horse's mouth. In lieu of that, however, I'm just gonna let the footage kind of speak for itself and give my own take on it. So I've been working out now for, 15, 16 years, and for the first 12 or 13 years of lifting, I never even attempted it because it just seemed too dangerous and I never really saw the benefit. But eventually, after watching so many pros pulling it off, I decided to give it a go, and honestly guys, I've never looked back. For the past 2 years or so, I've been going thumbless on any sort of chest press. Aside from dumbbells, obviously, you never want to go thumbless with dumbbells, that's just not a good idea. But yeah, the first advantage I noticed is that it alleviates a lot of pressure off the wrists. I used to frequently get wrist pain after benching anything over, say, 200 pounds, but now that's rarely, if ever, the case. And this makes sense when you think about it because a thumbless grip means that the bar will actually sit slightly lower in your palms, putting it more in line with your forearms. With a regular grip, the bar can easily shift further up in the hand, which puts a ton of unwanted pressure on the wrist joint. So that's one benefit. And this dude from T-Nation also claims it's better for the shoulders and elbow joints, internal rotation, yada yada. I'm no kinesiology major, only took one exercise science class back in high school, guys, what do you want? So if you're one of those science nerds that needs to understand everything in technical terms, here you go, knock yourself out, and check the description for a link to the full article. In my experience though, there is perhaps a little less strain on the rotator cuffs when benching this way, as he claims, especially with a wider grip, so I can certainly see why some people might prefer it and find it easier to keep tension on the chest. And lastly, as we already established, it just looks cool, plain and simple. Whenever you see someone benching this way, you know they're hardcore because noobs and filthy casual New Year's resolutioners would be too scared to try it. Like I said, it took me over a decade to work up the balls to attempt this, and even then I started slow, only using it for warm-up sets and then switching back to a conventional grip for working sets. Now, with experience under my belt, I have the confidence to do it with any weight, so it's definitely something you gotta get used to and kind of wrap your head around. So, would I recommend the thumbless grip? Yes, absolutely. The only caveat here is that I would not advise it for beginners. When you're just starting out, you've got enough on your plate as it is, so get the basic mechanics down first and get comfortable pressing free weights before you begin messing around with your grip. But if you've already been lifting for a couple years, then yeah, why not? I would encourage you to try it and see for yourself. It's really not as dangerous as all those gym fail videos would have you believe, so don't be getting all hysterical and having your panties in a bunch like this twerp from Reddit. The only downside, other than the weight possibly slipping of course, is that you can't squeeze the bar quite as tight so you don't get that irradiation effect or whatever it's called. So you might lose out on maybe 2 or 3% strength, but then again, it's possible that you gain that right back from pushing from a more stable base. In this case, the very base of your palm instead of the middle of your palm. I don't know exactly, but who cares? This is bodybuilding, not powerlifting, so if you're obsessing over minor strength differences like this, maybe you're in the wrong sport. And one other note is that you can also employ the thumbless grip for shoulder presses and even back exercises as well. In fact, there's virtually no risk to doing it on something like lat pull-downs, and if anything, it kind of enhances your grip strength on that one, I find, and takes the forearms out of the movement more. So that's going to do it for this one, just another food for thought type of video. Mostly I just wanted to highlight the prevalence of the thumbless grip in pro bodybuilding, and discuss some of the potential benefits it can offer over a conventional grip. I'm curious to know your thoughts on this one. Have you tried the so-called suicide grip before? Would you? And if you already use it, why do you prefer it? Let us know in the comments below. Next week I'll finally be doing my predictions for the fast approaching 2019 Arnold Classic, so stay tuned for that. And until next time, I'm the Tominator signing off, and I'll be back.